Here, let me show you the most common tools needed to maintain your machine. Some small cup to be able to connect the coffee grounds coming out from the grinder. Digital scale to weigh the actual product, would it be the coffee grounds or the soluble. Phillips number 2 screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. You'll need also the keys to be able to open the front door. And also you will need the magnet key to be able to program the machine. Without it, you cannot calibrate or set the machine. Quick trick that I give always is to stick it on the inside of the machine, next to the mechanical counter of the machine, right under the nameplate of the machine. That way you'll be sure, if you put it always at the same location, you'll be able to find it right away. On the inside of the door, you got the nameplate sticker that gives you the model number, gives you the unit serial number, voltage, power, water pressure for the machine, certifications as well, and also below the nameplate sticker, you got the mechanical counter. So whenever you need to contact the tech support line, it is mandatory, especially with warranted machines, to have the unit serial number, model of the machine, unit serial number that is located on the nameplate, the cup counter or mechanical counter of the machine, and if you got it, also proof that the machine has been properly maintained. With that, we'll be able to provide or ship any warranted part if required. Below this, you got the USB port. There's a small rubber cover that protects the USB port. So if you need to push updates on the machine, create backups, restore, this is what to look for. That's really on the inside of the door. Once the machine has completely booted up, slide the programming key into the groove. That's where we got the sensor for the magnet. That way you'll be able to access all the different menus on the machine. To get to the menu on the main selection screen, just push on the gear icon, top right. Use the default password, that is 4444. Now the first thing to set is the language. So hit the 3 bars on top and use the search bar to navigate. You can either scroll through the different menus to try to find the proper settings, or just hit some keywords in the search bar and the machine will pop some suggestions on the screen. I'm going to put language. Here I got straight away the suggestion for the languages. And that's where you can use or change the user screen language or the technical menu language. So by hitting the proper icon, you can scroll and pick up your own language for different selections. Once you're done, you save it and you go back. Hit OK. The language is set. Now you can go and set the date and time of the machine. Again, use the search bar to navigate through. Just type in date. There are 2 suggestions that pops right away. You've got the install date and you got a date and time. Go with the second one first. Date and time settings. So of course, start with the date. On the right inside of each selection, you got a pen. If you hit the pen, it will enable the change of the settings. There you make your selection. And once you got the right date and time, just validate. Do the same for the time. Just note that the way that the time shows is on a 24-hour setting. Once you got the right date and time set, then you can type in the install date. This will help you keep track on how long the machine has been installed on location, and will help also you guys if you got an issue with the machine or our team at tech support. It is not mandatory, but this is another tool that you can use. So let's do that. Again, hit the 3 bars, top left, search, installation date, and it brings you to the install date settings. Again, if you want to change the setting, hit the pen on the right hand side, do the change, and just validate. Once you've done those steps, the next thing to do is really to test what's coming out of the machine. So once you've filled the bean hoppers, soluble canister, use the fridge also next to it, or just pull the milk out from the milk jug that you can keep in the fridge next to the machine. But make sure that you test each and every selection on the screen. Once you tested out the machine, now you'll be able to readjust, fine-tune the machine according to your customer's taste. As mentioned earlier, the grinders are factory calibrated. If you do need to recalibrate the grinder, here's the procedure. The G150 calculates the amount of ground coffee necessary to prepare each drink in 2 ways, volumetric and time. They are released consecutively from the coffee doser chamber. We begin by setting the volumetric calibration. This is preset, so usually you don't deal with that, but if need be, you can change the doser setting by pulling the green cap off. Before taking that route, maybe better to play around with the coarseness of the coffee first. Inside the machine, you got 2 bean hoppers, but also you've got 2 grinders, 2 dosers, and 1 coffee chute. To readjust the coarseness of the coffee, you need to play with the adjustment knobs of each grinder. So of course, do one at a time. Mark down on the thumb wheel. Keep a reference mark on the grinders or on the knob to be sure that you can go backwards to prevent any issues with the grinders. So if you need to readjust the grinders, get the keys, of course, to open the door, and we need to remove the coffee chute here from its location. So this chute is held by a screw, so you just unscrew it with a Phillips number 2 screwdriver, and make sure that you don't lose the screw inside the chute. This will fall into the brew neck and cause damage. So once you've got the screw out, just lift the chute from the top. Now you got to do the same. If you want to do the test, you'll need to remove that funnel from underneath the 2 dozer to be able to calibrate the grinders or to collect the coffee ground coming out to check the coarseness of the coffee. Take that funnel, slide it sideways, and put it aside. Go through the main screen, hit the gear icon, insert your password, 4444, and go to calibration. Again, you can use the 3 bars on top, type in calibration, or go straight up to the calibration menu, that is 3.4.3. Machine settings, input settings, calibrations. Here it says flow meter calibration. Got the left grinder, right grinder, and shotgun. So do only one grinder at a time. First, get a small cup to be able to collect the coffee grounds that will come out of the grinder. And to make sure, especially at first install, you'll discard the two first coffee throws to make sure that the grinder and the funnel and everything in between is filled with coffee beans. And then you'll be able to enter the values. But the first ones are solely used to discard the previous batch. So if need be, readjust the coarseness using the thumb screw next to the grinder. Start with grinder number 1. Go through the screen, hit coffee beans left. With the door open, use the small cup. Put your cup under the dozer and start the low calibration. The first test, you discard, do the same step, and then check the coarseness of the grinder. For proper coarseness, we're looking at fine grounds. So usually just pinching the grounds, you should be able to create a fine wall with the coffee grounds. Now, once you've got the proper coarseness, redo the same steps, and using your digital balance, you'll need to weight the coffee throw and type it into the machine. So first off, use your digital scale. Zero it out with a small cup and do the same steps. Start low calibration. You want to start the calibration process. Calibrate. Put your cup. Make sure that you don't spill it over. And now you've got your sample. You got to set the machine to what you've measured or weighted. And then do the same with the high calibration. Collect the coffee that's going to come out and re-enter the values. And once done, you'll have calibrated the grinder number 1. For the grinder 2, do the exact same steps. Once you've calibrated the grinders, save the changes. Exit the service mode. Put your coffee chute back in place. Like this. And reinstall your ground chute with this knob twisted sideways. And make sure it aligns with the coffee chute. Put the screw back in place on top. And you're done. To readjust the recipes, once again, push the gear icon, type in your password, 4444, hit the 3-bar button. You can type in the search bar or go straight out to the proper menu. That's going to be drink settings, recipes, recipes and use. Now if you need to readjust a specific selection, select the proper recipe and hit the pen to be able to access the recipes menu. This is a Cafe Americano that I'm showing off. You got 2 settings. Left hand side, you got the settings for the coffee. Right hand side, you got the hot water. Let's select the coffee. Hit the bar once and hit edit. And this is where you can readjust the water volume coming out just for the coffee settings. It's expressed in milliliters, but next to the settings, you got it in fluid ounces. Modify accordingly and save. Once you've set your adjustments, go back to the main menu and exit service mode.